say something that is going to make a lot of men uncomfortable. Serious. A woman does not miss you because of who you are. She misses you because of how she feels when you are not around. That is it. No mystery, no magic, just psychology. Pause. And here is the part that changes everything. Even if she is not interested in you right now, even if she barely notices you, she can be made to feel your absence so deeply that she cannot stop thinking about you when you are gone. I know that goes against everything most men are told. Society keeps saying, just be yourself, just be honest, just be a good man, and the right woman will see your value. And that sounds beautiful. Sighs, but it has left millions of good men invisible, frustrated, and completely confused about why the women they genuinely care about keep drifting away. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Women do not miss the man who is always available. They do not miss the man who is always chasing, always proving, always trying. They miss the man who understood something most men never figure out, that absence creates value, that scarcity creates desire, and that the most powerful thing you can do is not always be there. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why some men are forgotten the moment they walk away, and why others stay burned into a woman's memory long after the conversation ends. And the difference has nothing to do with looks, money, or perfect words. It has everything to do with psychology, discipline, and presence. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share is going to change how you see attraction completely. Intro. Welcome back to Secrets Inside the Mind. I am Liza. Every single day on this channel, we have honest, real conversations about human psychology, attraction, and the truths about connection that most people are too afraid to say out loud. If you are not subscribed yet, please do that right now. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications because I do not want you to miss a single video. Now let us get into this. The core truth. Why effort without strategy is invisible. Before we get to the 3 steps, I need to address something most men are doing that is silently destroying their chances before they even begin. Most men believe effort equals attraction. They believe that if they text her consistently, if they show up reliably, if they prove through their actions how much they care, she will eventually feel something. And I understand why men believe this. It is logical. It makes sense on paper. But attraction does not follow logic. It follows emotion. And emotions are not triggered by what is predictable, reliable, and always available. They are triggered by what is unexpected, uncertain, and rare. Think about the things you have craved most in your life. Were they the things that were always easy to get? Or were they the things that felt slightly out of reach? The things that made you work a little, wonder a little, want a little more than you already had? The answer is obvious. And yet men ignore this completely when it comes to women. Here is what actually happens when you chase. When you text constantly, when you are always available, when you rearrange your life to be present whenever she needs you, you are not showing her your value, you are showing her your fear. Fear of losing her, fear of being forgotten, fear of another man stepping in, and that fear is exactly what makes you forgettable. She does not see a strong, grounded, desirable man. She sees someone who needs her approval to feel okay. And nobody misses a man who needs them. People miss the man who does not. This is not about being cold. This is not about games. This is about a fundamental shift in how you carry yourself, from a man who chases to a man who creates gravity. And gravity is what pulls people toward you without you having to reach for them. Let us break down exactly how to do that. Step 1. Stop chasing. Start creating space. The first step is the hardest one for most men because it goes against every instinct they have. Stop chasing. Pull back. Create space. I know what you are thinking. If I stop texting her, she will forget about me. If I stop showing up, she will move on. If I give her space, someone else will fill it. And here is the irony. That fear, that exact fear, is what has been pushing her away all along. When you chase a woman, you place her on a pedestal, and the moment she is on a pedestal, you are below her. She becomes the prize. You become the contestant, and no matter how hard you compete, the more you try, the less interesting you become because she already knows the outcome. She knows you will always be there. She knows she does not have to wonder. And when there is nothing to wonder about, there is nothing to think about. But when you stop chasing, something shifts. You break a pattern she is completely used to. Every other man in her life is sending good morning texts, liking every post, rearranging schedules, waiting for a response. You become the one who does not. And in that silence, in that unexpected pause, her brain wakes up. Why has he not texted? What is he doing? Is he talking to someone else? Does he still think about me? Those questions create emotion, and emotion is the root of missing someone. Here is something I want you to understand clearly. Ignoring her is not the goal. The goal is to stop making her the center of your world. Because when she is your center, you are not interesting. You are orbiting, and nobody is drawn towards something that orbits them. They are drawn towards something that has its own gravity. A man with his own life, his own goals, his own friendships, his own momentum, does not chase. Not because he is playing a game, but because he genuinely has other things going on. He responds when he has time. He reaches out when it feels natural. He is interested, but not desperate. And that combination, interest without desperation, is magnetic in a way that constant availability never will be. Think about two men approaching the same woman. The first texts every morning, likes every photo, never misses a chance to remind her he is thinking about her. At first she feels flattered, then she feels smothered, then she feels nothing at all, because the attention is guaranteed, and guaranteed things lose their weight. The second man talks to her, connects with her, but then steps back. He does not check in every day. He does not fill every silence. He is polite, but not desperate, interested, but not available on demand. And slowly she notices his absence. She starts thinking about him more. That curiosity grows, and that is where attraction begins to live. Men who chase are forgettable. Men who pull back are missed. The difference is not luck, it is discipline. Subscribe reminder. Before we move to step 2, please subscribe to Secrets Inside the Mind right now if you have not already. I post every single day, and every video is a real honest conversation about human psychology and attraction. Hit that button and let us keep going. Step 2. Create scarcity. Make your presence worth something. Here is a truth that will change how you see everything. What is always available is never truly desired. Think about the things you value most. They are never the things you can get at any moment. They are the things that feel rare, that feel earned, that feel like something you could actually lose if you are not careful. The same principle that governs every form of human desire applies directly to attraction. When you are always around, always easy to reach, always responding within seconds, always making time no matter what else is happening, your presence becomes ordinary. And ordinary does not get missed. Ordinary gets taken for granted. But when you create scarcity, when you are genuinely selective with your time and your attention, something changes in how she experiences you. Your presence starts to feel like something worth noticing, something worth protecting, something she is not entirely sure she can keep. And that uncertainty is not cruelty. That uncertainty is what creates desire. Here is where most men make the mistake. They confuse availability with loyalty. They think if I am always there for her, she will see how devoted I am. But here is what she actually sees. She sees someone whose attention has no boundaries, someone whose time requires no effort to access. And things that require no effort to access are never truly valued. People value what they fear losing. If you are always easy to reach, There is no fear of losing you. You are simply there, like background noise, taken for granted without anyone consciously deciding to take you for granted. But when you are selective, when your time is genuinely connected to your own life, your own goals, your own priorities, suddenly your attention becomes something worth earning. She cannot assume access to it. She has to engage. She has to invest. She has to wonder if she is doing enough to remain interesting to you. And here is the beautiful irony. The moment she is wondering whether she is interesting enough to you, she has already started missing you. I want to be very clear about what scarcity is and what it is not. Scarcity is not ghosting. It is not cruelty. It is not pretending you do not care when you do. Scarcity is simply this: your life does not orbit around her. You have a mission, you have goals, you have people and things that matter to you beyond this one woman, and because of that, your presence is naturally limited, naturally selective, naturally valuable. That energy is completely different from manufactured distance. She can feel the difference between a man who is genuinely busy and a man who is pretending to be. One creates attraction. The other creates confusion. Make sure what you are creating is real. Build a life that is genuinely full. Have goals you are working toward. Maintain friendships that matter. Pursue things that excite you, not to make her jealous, but because a man with a full life is naturally more attractive than a man whose life revolves around her attention. When your life is full, scarcity is not a strategy. It is simply the truth. And the truth is always more magnetic than performance. Step 3. Control the emotional temperature. Stop being predictable. This is the step most men resist the hardest because it requires something they are afraid of. It requires them to stop being perfectly comfortable all the time. Here is the wake-up call. You are too predictable, and predictable men do not get missed. They get forgotten. Women do not crave constant comfort. They crave emotional impact. If every single interaction with you feels the same, if you are always perfectly agreeable, always perfectly available, always perfectly pleasant, you are not creating attraction. You are creating furniture, and nobody misses the furniture when they leave a room. Attraction is not built on routine. It is built on contrast, on tension and release, on warmth followed by slight distance, on moments that surprise, challenge, and occasionally even frustrate, because those emotions stick, they linger, they give her something to think about after you are gone. Think about the people you have missed most in your own life. Were they the ones who always gave you exactly what you wanted, exactly when you wanted it, with no friction and no surprise? Or were they the ones who challenged you, who surprised you, who made you feel a range of emotions you could not get from anyone else? You already know the answer, and yet most men refuse to apply it. Here is what emotional predictability looks like in practice. A man who never disagrees, who agrees with everything she says to avoid conflict, who adjusts his opinions based on what he thinks she wants to hear, who is always available, always warm, always the same, day after day, with no variation, no surprise, no tension. That man feels safe, but he does not feel exciting, and safe without exciting is the fastest path to being forgotten. Subscribe reminder. We are almost at the close, and I want to make sure you do not miss the final truth that ties all three steps together. But first, if you are finding real value here, please subscribe to Secrets Inside the Mind right now. I am Liza, and I post something like this every single day. Subscribe and stay till the end. Now let me be very clear about what I am not saying. I am not saying create chaos. I am not saying be cold, inconsistent, or emotionally damaging. Those things do not create attraction. They create anxiety and resentment. That is not the goal. What I am saying is this: stop being afraid of tension. Stop being afraid of saying no. Stop being afraid to have a perspective that is genuinely yours even when it differs from hers. Stop ironing out every wrinkle in the interaction out of fear that she will not like you if you do. A man who sets real boundaries is interesting. A man who stands firm in his values, even when it creates friction, is respectable. A man who can make her laugh, make her think, occasionally make her slightly frustrated because he will not bend to every expectation, that man leaves an emotional mark. And emotional marks are what she replays in her mind when she is alone. The key is control. You are not letting emotions run wild. You are managing the temperature of your interactions with awareness. A little tension followed by release, a little distance followed by genuine warmth, a little unpredictability followed by consistency. That rhythm, that contrast is what keeps her engaged, what keeps her thinking about you, what makes her feel your absence when you are not there. If you are always flat, always agreeable, always safe, you leave nothing for her mind to work with, but when there is texture to your interactions, when there is something she cannot completely predict about you, her mind keeps returning to you, trying to figure you out, replaying moments, wondering what you are thinking. That is not manipulation. That is simply being a fully dimensional human being who has not traded his depth for the comfort of her approval. The real truth. Are you living a life worth missing? Here is where I need to say something that most men do not want to hear, and I say it with genuine care. If a woman does not miss you when you are gone, if you fade from her mind the moment you walk away, the honest question is not what is wrong with her. The honest question is, what did you leave behind worth missing? Not your texts, not your effort, not your willingness to be there whenever she needed something. Those things are easy to find. Every man in her inbox is offering those things. What leaves a mark is something different. It is the feeling she gets when she is around you, the specific quality of your presence, the way you think, the way you carry yourself, the way you respond to things, the way you hold your ground without being rigid, the way you make her feel seen without making her feel like she owes you something for it. That is what gets missed. Not the man who was always there, the man who was worth being there for. And here is what I want you to sit with. Are you pursuing something that genuinely excites you? Are you building a life that has direction and momentum? Do you have standards you actually enforce? Do you have a sense of who you are that does not shift depending on who is in the room? Because if the answer is no, if your entire identity is wrapped around getting her attention, then what you are actually chasing is not her. It is validation. And until you separate those two things, no strategy in the world will make a lasting difference. You do not need to become someone different. You need to become more fully yourself, a man who is genuinely grounded in his own life, his own values, his own direction. That man does not need to engineer being missed. He is naturally unforgettable because being around him feels different. Being away from him feels like something is missing. That is the man she thinks about when it is quiet. That is the man she compares others to without meaning to. That is the man she reaches out to even when she told herself she would not. Become that man, not for her, for yourself, and watch how everything changes. Outrow, let us bring it all together. Step 1. Stop chasing. Create space. Let her feel your absence rather than filling every silence with your presence. Men who chase are forgettable. Men who pull back are missed. Step 2. Create scarcity. Make your time and attention genuinely valuable by having a life worth the attention. What is always available is never truly desired. Step 3. Control the emotional temperature. Stop being perfectly predictable and perfectly comfortable. Create contrast, create texture. Leave her with something to think about long after the conversation ends. And underneath all three steps, the foundation that makes everything work, live a life that is worth missing. Pursue your goals, hold your standards, stay grounded in who you are. Because a man who is genuinely building something, genuinely alive in his own world, does not need to engineer desire. He creates it simply by existing fully. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been the man who chased too hard and ended up invisible? Have you ever pulled back and felt the shift when she started reaching out? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and I genuinely want to know your experience. If this video gave you something real today, please give it a like, share it with a man who needs to hear this, and subscribe to Secrets Inside the Mind if you have not already. I am here every single day. I am Liza. I will see you tomorrow.